up, Unc?
What's going on, Jay?
How you doing? How you doing? So
Welcome, man. This your first time here, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a good new spot, man. I ain't never been here. You know what I mean? Never been here.
What you think about it?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay.
You know, you came a long way.
Yeah, you
Came a long
right
way.
about that.
Came a long way. So just tell me a little bit about how you even got into Barber. Like, what made you want to start Barber?
What made me get into barber?
Yeah.
Probably a bad haircut by my mom is what initially sparked my attention to barber. Because I mean, I was like, if I'm gonna walk around with this, I can do this myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
Okay.
I kind of took my chance at cutting my own hair, and then that just kind of, trickled down to my brothers, and then the other kids that were in school that realized that I did not realize had the same problem that I had.
Not like my dad.
Yeah.
Like my dad.
That's how I met your dad.
Okay.
You know what? That's a really good question, because that's exactly how I met your dad.
That's okay.
I started cutting his hair when we were in middle school.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what made you think that barbering could really be your lifestyle? That I want to go full time in a barber, because you could have just did it on the side. But what made you go really full time into it and like, I want to do this as a living, as a trade?
You know what, Jay? Honestly, I didn't set out wanting to be a barber. That's not something that, when I was in school, I said, oh man, I want to be a barber. I knew I wanted to be a businessman.
Right.
I knew I wanted to be a businessman, but I didn't know that barbering would take me into fulfilling that dream that I had then. But at that particular time, I can't honestly say that barbering was something that I looked at, I viewed, and I pursued it as a business. It's something that over time, me understanding that, wait a minute, this is my gift. I didn't realize that, I didn't understand, gifts and purposes and all that kind of stuff at such a young age. That had been taught to me. And nor did I realize that I was actually operating in my gift at that particular time.
Okay. So since you never know, you just wanted to be, you knew you wanted to be a businessman and everything. Right. So when you got your first shop, how did that even come to play? You getting your first shop, you starting to become a barber in veterans, the shop that I always know of, the OG.
Oh man, now you asking the questions. Now you asking the real questions. Okay, so man, I started off. I started cutting hair everywhere, like at school, wherever I could make some money cutting hair. School,
he was hustling.
At work. If it was an opportunity to cut somebody's hair, I was on it. And so I worked for the Wyndham Greenspoint Hotel at the time, and I was a graveyard concierge. And I met a gentleman that came in that was inquiring about getting a haircut. And bro, I got you on that,
Right.
Meet me down here in the bell room,
Always networking.
Meet me down here in the bell room, and I got you on that, you know what I'm saying? It's late at night, So I met this guy, did that over few months. Months turned into years, because, I developed a relationship with him. Every time he would come in town, he would ask for me, of course, and, we would connect, and we became real good friends. He came in town one year, right when I was getting ready to, I was home from college. He came in town, and I was working at the hotel in the summer. And he says, hey, you remember that dream, that story you told me about wanting to own your own barbershop? I was like, yeah. He said, what if I was in a position to help you manifest that dream of yours? What if I was in a position to help you obtain that dream of yours? And I was like, that would be great,
Right.
And so he was like, I can do it. I don't know what made me believe this guy, but when he said, I can do it and we can do it, I knew what I had told him I desired in a barbershop, and how, again, I'm just thinking about the aspect of opening up a barbershop and how I would open it up from from that business aspect, and how it would service our community. And so I had no business background. I didn't know anything about business.
All right.
I mean, zero. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I was totally green when it came to business. But there was something in me that made me feel like I could trust this guy and I can get to where he was offering me, which at the time, I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm thinking like, man, what made you trust this guy like that?
Discernment.
After, you know, all the things I've gone through over the years. Okay, but we take this ride. And I remember we went and started picking out furniture for the school. And that's when I realized, like, he for real.
He's serious.
Like, he's serious. And not only that, he was like, look, I need you to get in school. Because I didn't have a license at the time.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm already traveling with him, picking out furniture for the place. Mm-hmm. I don't have a license. So I was like, I need to get in school. Mm-hmm. And a really good friend of mine, Derek Harper, I'm going to say his name, real good friend of mine, Derek Harper, I was young and Derek poured into me and he said, you need to get in school, Shaw, get your license. And he showed me that path on what I needed to do and how to get in school to get my license. And I hadn't shared with anybody the whole time I was in school why I was in school. Mm-hmm. I was in school because I knew I needed that license for us to open the shop up, because the way TDLR was set up then, somebody had to have a license to open the school. To open the barbershop. Somebody had to have a license. And I was gonna be that individual that had the license going into partnership with Charles on this school. And we named it New School Barbershop.
That was the first name?
That was the first name, New School Barbershop. And New School Barbershop, man, when I say this, some people probably light up when I say New School Barbershop, because I still have people today come to me and be like,
New School Barbershop.
Yeah, New School Barbershop. And they think about it. But so many kids in that community grew up, so many adults now grew up in New School Barbershop. So we were so far beyond our imagination and what we were doing at that particular time. We're talking 30 years ago.
Wow.
We're talking 30 years ago. New School Barbershop was like state-of-the-art barbershop. We had a turf floor. Like, it was just like walking into a football stadium, like you were going to a game. Every station was set up like on the 10-yard line, 20-yard line, 30-yard line, and we had turf floors, you know.
You was ahead of your time.
We were ahead of our time. We had the stock market, you know, going across.
Oh, really?
Yeah, stock market was going across in there.
Goodness.
I'm serious, bro. We had a pool table there in the barbershop, video games in the back for the kids, stadium seating. I'm telling you, we were beyond our time as far as that's concerned. But that was my first start in realizing that, you know, the fact that I was thinking about being a businessman and wanted to be a businessman, I came in as a manager right off the bat. So I went out and recruited some guys that I had gone to school with, and then guys that I had worked with in the past to come out. And we all started working together at this shop, man. And we developed a very, very, very wealthy establishment, man.
Hey, I understand.
At a young age, man.
How old was you at this time?
Man, I was probably, let me put it like this. I bought my first house when I was 24.
Wow.
Yeah, we were making some really good money. Yeah, because I remember buying my first house when I was 24. And I probably had already had about 3 different Jaguars, motorcycles, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, that's the part of barbering that when you get older, you realize, like, where you need to learn how to put your money in the right place.
Right places.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Because you just spending money.
You just blowing money. It was almost like buying a pair of Jordans just because I got a scratch on them.
Just because you, hey, all right. So,
yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so my next question would be then, what made you pivot from not just being an owner of a barbershop to okay, I want to have a school now. I want to teach others how to cut. I want to impact the community and teach other people how to get their license and everything. How did that even come about?
How did the school come about? Jay, the school came about in an interesting way. So the school you're talking about is the school that you see now.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know I had a school before that school.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had a school before the school that you know of right now. So, I'm always talking to you guys about having 1s, 2s, and 3s in your life, as far as that's concerned. I never really had the opportunity to really like just kind of sit and learn from another male. Remember I told you I didn't know anything about business.
Right.
Nothing at all. And so I had a friend. I had a friend that I met in the barbershop that began to start mentoring me. He began to mentor me in a lot of areas. And we became very good friends. He's an older gentleman. He was older than I was, and I trusted him. And we decided to do some business together. And the first business we did together was he taught me how to build my second house. And so at the age of probably my mid-30s, early 30s, I built the house. And I built the house like from the ground up. But he walked me through this whole process and taught me along the way how to do it. And we became really good friends because he started showing me how to make money. We decided to go into business together, and we opened up a shop in Beaumont. Probably one of the worst decisions in my life.
Wow.
Because that was the first time I'd ever taste failure.
That's one of my next questions. But
that was your next question?
So go ahead, talk about the failure you faced.
Man, that was probably one of the first time I'd ever faced failure. And so we opened this shop up in the school in Beaumont. And it was going well, but there was a lot of things that I didn't know in the beginning about how things ran business-wise and how business is business.
No matter the relationship.
No matter what a relationship is, business is business.
It gotta be business.
And so I'm trying to tell this story really without
not
exposing anybody as far as that's concerned, but business is business. And one thing I learned is that your paperwork has to be in order. It made me really understand what a mentor is all about and who a mentor is to me and should be. And so what I mean by that is I look at mentors now, like, especially my number ones. Those are the individuals that's willing to pour into me, but not expecting anything back in return.
Right.
And they have my best interests. So I learned very quick to understand that when you choose a number one in your life, or you allow someone to get that close to you, my mentor now, and when I define a mentor now, that's the individual that's willing to pour into me, that's not asking for anything back in return. And not only that, he has my best interest in return. And so my first experience with a mentor was not a good experience. It was a broken experience. It was an experience that I crashed from. It was an experience that opened my eyes up to deceitfulness, dishonesty, and just how people could be. And it really cost me a lot. And it was hard, not just on me, but it was hard on my family also. And I don't even know if you know, but I went through bankruptcy over this entire deal because it got so deep. And you know how people tell you, it's like, man, you tell one lie, you gotta tell another one, you gotta tell another one, and before you know it, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Well, that's how I felt like when I was going into, when I was in this business with this individual. It got so deep to where one day I just had to stop the bleeding. And I remember that day, and I can remember like all the things that I had to experience during this time, and it was not fun, man. It was not fun, and it's a place that when you're going through it, you don't really know if you'll ever come out of it. Yeah.
But you gotta keep pushing though.
Huh?
You kept pushing though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely kept pushing. After I got off the floor from crying and and being embarrassed and thinking about all the I lost like $75,000. You know how many haircuts that is?
Nah, tell me.
That's a lot of haircuts, man. Like, that's a lot of haircuts.
Yeah,
and I lost $75,000. And here's the other thing. You're going through this and nobody else know you're going through.
Right, nah, because I'm pretty sure I was alive, I was aware, I was around this time, but I never knew.
Yeah,
never knew.
A lot of people, I think they look at things and they look at the outer appearance
to manage what they say success looks like.
What they think, yeah, exactly.
But they don't know what you're going through.
But they don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're going through. And then, the thing about that is, even as you're going through it, you're trying to make sure that you're not projecting, that energy out on someone else, because as I'm going through something, it's really, my growth is how I come out of it.
Right.
My growth is how I come out of it and what I learned as I was going through it. And I think that's why I'm so dedicated to making sure that what I pour into someone else, whether it's especially when it comes to business, is that I don't want to see them go through what I went through by choosing the wrong mentor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you went through, how did you pivot and transition to, because you didn't quit there. You didn't say, okay, I'm done with this whole barbering thing and I'm done with the whole barber school and everything. How did you pivot and say, I'm gonna still stay with the plan,
right?
And just because this one failure didn't work out, I got another venture. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna stay faithful to this barbering thing. How did you pivot into that?
Man, I pivoted and fell again.
Really?
I did.
I
pivoted and I fell again. I had another. I pivoted and I fell again. I set out to open this barbershop inside Greenspoint Mall. And I set out to open this barbershop inside Greenspoint Mall. And again, I had this is part of all this money that I was telling you that I had put up from cutting hair. Like, cutting hair was great to me, man. It was really good. Like, when I come on those videos and I talk about being able to do a haircut in 15 minutes, like, we did that, man. And we did that and we made crazy money in one day.
Because you can maximize the amount of people
you can maximize. Yeah, seriously. I had a friend of mine. This is a real story, and I hope he sees this video. His name was Eric Areola. All right. Me and Eric would get to the barbershop. We typically did this on a Friday or Saturday. We would get to the barbershop, be the first ones to get to the barbershop, and we would say, how many today? He's on one side of the room, I'm on the other side of the room. And we would say, how many today? Eric would probably say something crazy like 35. Well, of course, I can't say 32. I'll come back with 40, Right. But guess what? By the end of the day,
You didn't cut.
He hit his 35.
And I'd have hit,
I'd hit my 40.
Friendly competition.
Friendly competition. But we were doing that every week, man. Week after week after week. We were doing that. So we know what it takes. And I'm not sure where Eric is right now, what he's doing. But if he sees this broke out, call me. So, right. But we would do that. Mm-hmm. And it was so much fun because we would come in and, I mean, people came back every week. Right. They came back every week. But that wasn't your question. Let's get back to your question.
Go back to how you failed in Greens.
So, okay, so Greens Point. I wanted to start my first barbershop on my own inside Greens Point. Okay. Now, at this particular time, I was working at another barbershop. I had moved on and started working at another barbershop with Ron Jackson. And Ron asked me to come in, and I ran his barbershop for him. And the name of his barbershop was, what's the name of that barbershop? Cut Creation. Cut Creation was the name of the barbershop. And I came in, and Ron didn't have a license. So I ran Ron's shop for him. Right. Because at that time, the rule was you got to have somebody that had the license. Yeah.